Welcome to Speak English Now podcast with your host, Georgiana, the podcast that will help you to speak English fluently with no grammar and no textbooks.
Hi everyone, I am Georgiana, founder of SpeakEnglishPodcast.com. My mission is to help you speak English fluently. Last week, I realized that Valentine's Day is coming up, and I wanted to dedicate this lesson to students who want to know how to ask a girl out. You never know when you're gonna meet that special someone, so you gotta be prepared. I've also prepared a point of view story so you can practice your grammar and vocabulary. Before I start, I'd like to thank everyone who follows me on iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, etc. Thank you very much for your support and your positive reviews. Every time you share your honest opinion, you're in fact helping others to discover a more effective and enjoyable way of learning English. All right. I'll just cut to the chase and tell you how to ask a girl out. Oh, now you're probably wondering what the expression cut to the chase means. Well, we use this phrase when we start talking about the important aspect of something. We want to get to the point without wasting time. Now I'm really going to cut to the chase. There are different circumstances when you want to ask a girl out. If you want to ask a friend to go out with you, you'll need to have a clear idea where and when you want your date to be. Don't just tell her you'd like to hang out sometime. One thing you could do is take her to dinner at a not-so-elegant restaurant. It's a good choice for a first date. By the way, here are some useful expressions that you can use when you want to ask someone on a date. You could use hang out, get together, or do something. Examples. Do you want to hang out tonight? Let's get together this weekend. Do you want to do something tonight? Whatever you do, ask her in person. I know it may be tempting to ask her out on the phone, texting, or over the internet. But this must be one of those face-to-face moments. Be clear about your intentions. Women find it attractive when a man really knows what he wants. You don't have to explicitly say it's a date, but don't hide your feelings either. I know, being rejected is a great risk. It's actually one of the biggest fears we all experience at least once in our lives. So don't try to keep it cool. Now is the time to be honest, as hard as it may be. To keep it cool, in this context, means that you don't want to show your feelings in a difficult situation. If you ask a stranger out, you're going to be even more cautious. Avoid doing anything that makes her feel pressured or unsafe. It's a good idea to talk to her with other people nearby. Like that, she'll feel safe. This is very important. Don't make any physical contact unless she does so first. Introduce yourself politely. Make eye contact before greeting her. Tell her your name and compliment her. If she responds nicely with her name, it's a good time to tell her that you want to meet her. Although if she ignores your greetings and compliments, you'd better back off. To back off means to move backwards in order to get further away from something. By the way, if you're not sure how to compliment a woman, remember that I posted an episode with my honest advice on how to compliment a woman. Now you may ask yourself, how do you give her your contact information? This is a classic. Apparently most men expect women to give them their phone number. But I guess it's probably best to take the initiative. Just give her your phone number. This takes a lot of pressure off her and can make her more receptive about your offer. If she's interested, she will likely volunteer her phone number without you needing to ask. You could say, "It's been a pleasure meeting you, but I gotta go now. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I'd like to know you better. If you want to stay in touch, here's my number." Of course, not all men and women were created equal, so you'll need to pay attention to the body language and use your intuition. I guess that you already know this, but I must remind you that I'm not a love guru. I'm here to help you communicate better in English. Love is always complicated, though it's easier when people are being honest and respectful with one another. Don't you think so? And now, let's continue with the point of view story. This kind of story will help you to improve your English grammar. It's very simple. I tell you the same story more than once. Every time, I change a grammatical aspect, so you can see how grammar changes and you can compare. You just have to listen. All right, let's start. I'll tell the story from Jake's perspective in the past tense. I'm Jake, and I'm an IT student. Last year, I accidentally discovered the perfect algorithm for love. Consequently, I created my own dating website called Perfect Love. The website became an immediate success, even though new members had to pay $100,000 to sign up. Perfect Love became viral in just 1 week, and as a result, I became so rich and famous that I decided to stop charging any fees. But then something strange happened. Surprisingly, the new members were no longer able to find love. Only the users who had initially signed up found their perfect match. What had happened? Maybe the algorithm wasn't at all perfect? I wasn't at all sure. So I began to worry and spent weeks revising the code. Apparently, the code was correct. Because the website was losing popularity, I started charging again $100,000. And that's when things went back to the way they were before. All new members were instantly finding their perfect match. Clearly, the success of the Perfect Love website wasn't due to my algorithm, but to the fact that people had to pay a very high amount of money. Let's listen to the story, this time in the plural. Jake and Bill were two IT students who accidentally discovered the perfect algorithm for love. Consequently, they created their own dating website called Perfect Love. The website became an immediate success, even though new members had to pay $100,000 to sign up. Perfect Love became viral in just 1 week, and as a result, Jake and Bill became so rich and famous that they decided to stop charging any fees. But then something strange happened. Surprisingly, the new members were no longer able to find love. Only the users who had initially signed up found their perfect match. What had happened? Maybe the algorithm wasn't at all perfect? Jake and Bill began to worry and spent weeks revising the code. Apparently, the code was correct, Because the website was losing popularity, Jake and Bill started charging again $100,000. That's when things went back to the way they were before. All new members were instantly finding their perfect match. Clearly, the success of the Perfect Love website was not due to Jake and Bill's algorithm, but to the fact that people had to pay a very high amount of money. Let's listen to the story one more time from Jake's perspective, but in the future tense. I'm Jake, and in the future, I'll be an IT student. I will accidentally discover the perfect algorithm for love. Consequently, I'll create my own dating website called Perfect Love. The website will become an immediate success, even though new members will have to pay $100,000 to sign up. Perfect Love will become viral in just 1 week, and as a result, I will be so rich and famous that I'll decide to stop charging any fees. But then, something strange will happen. Surprisingly, the new members will no longer be able to find love. Only people who had initially signed up will find their perfect match. Why would this happen? Maybe the algorithm won't be perfect? I won't be at all sure. So I'll begin to worry and spend weeks revising the code. Apparently, the code will be correct. Because the website will be losing popularity, I'll start charging again $100,000. And that's when things will go back to the way they were before. All new members will instantly find their perfect match. Clearly, the success of the Perfect Love website won't be due to my algorithm, but to the fact that people will have to pay a very high amount of money. Isn't it curious how people's perspective changes depending on whether they have to pay money or not? They say people love things for free. Maybe that's not entirely true. What do you think? Alright, it's the end of this point of view story. I use this successful method in my courses. Imagine a whole story told this way. Instead of having to memorize boring grammar rules, you can use this method to learn grammar. It's more enjoyable and also more effective. Now, you can improve your speaking and grammar with my enchanted course only by listening. Go to enchantedcourse.com and start speaking English fluently once and for all. Well, that's it for today. Please help me spread the word about the podcast. Tell your friends about the show and leave some comments on iTunes when you have some minutes. That would make me very happy. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy today's episode? Get the transcript now at speakenglishpodcast.com. speakenglishpodcast.com.